Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Thursday night. Pretty rainy out here in Northern California. It is the Earthmaster out here, about 9:27 p.m. November 21st, 2024 is the date. Latest activity here shows a zero point 0.5 earthquake. There in the green flag, also a 2.6 out here in the red flag across the Indonesia Islands area, maybe just south of the Philippines region, it looks like. Quite a bit of clustering going on there today across the area. Let's go ahead and check out California. Starting off here off the coast of Northern California, off on the Blanco fracture zone. A pair of earthquakes earlier this afternoon and this morning. 3.2 and a three-pointer. That normally adds strain out here across the southern end of the Cascadia. So let's go check out the tremor map here tonight. Stand by for a second. We'll get to space weather activity here in a little bit. Nothing in terms of elevated tremor activity out there. Nothing showing up here on the map, at least. So a little bit of movement out there, but no adjustment going on across the Cascadia for now in terms of tremor. Hard to believe that there's nothing at all going on for earthquake activity up in Washington. Something's a little fishy with that. I think they turned off their reporting out there. I don't believe that for one bit. Potentially the same for Northern California. Kind of hard to believe that there's no earthquake activity at all, not even a microquake or two. That seems a little rare, a little odd, and definitely rare. So what is listed up here on the map? Not a whole lot. Southern California. Let's go ahead and check out the 2.5 map and above. That brings up a couple earthquakes out there. One, the latest one, I guess, around the Ridgecrest area. North here, 2.6 earlier this afternoon. Aside from that, general small microquake activity out here. Really nothing of any unusual movement. In fact, looks a little quiet across the southern portion of the state as well. Some movement drifting off here to southern Nevada and over into Utah, but really nothing of any abnormal activity. Getting some squeezing going on out there in the oil fields of Texas once again. Outside of Pecos, Texas, got a pretty decent little swarm out there in the oil fields and fracking operation fields out there. Up in Nebraska, there's that little quake, a little odd one there this morning. Actually, late last night, a little 2.8 outside of Harvard, Nebraska. Aside from that, pretty quiet out here. One little lonesome on the New Madrid zone this morning. Yellowstone National Park, a handful of quakes showing up here. In the 1 and low 2 range. Let's give a quick glance here at the Yellowstone overview and see what we have here. There's a couple of those quakes that were showing up earlier this morning. Notice the red spikes here. Even the little blue spikes are indeed earthquakes as well. There's probably a good 15 or so on here on this map, right? Pretty obvious. You can see it plain as day. 4 earthquakes being reported from that 15 earthquakes there on the map. So this just goes to show you, there's really not a lot of times when the USGS will put out every earthquake out here. I don't know why you think they would. That's why I like to go to the seismograph stations there and verify. If they're saying nothing's going on, we should double check, right? We could go through Washington and Oregon and do the same thing, but I don't feel like doing that right now, so we'll just have to check that another night. It's definitely a little rare to see no earthquake activity out there. Minimal movement here across Yellowstone. There's a handful, as I showed you guys. Nothing big, but there's definitely some earthquake activity out there. The rest of the globe out here, let's see what we got for any large-scale movement. Getting some deeper activity here. Both sides of the, actually one area here on the southern area of the Caribbean plate, and also over here across the northern edge of the Peru-Chile Trench, seeing some deep activity. So things are starting to move down here in a big fashion in terms of deeper activity. So we'll watch that. There's a bunch of deep activity here across Puerto Rico as well. Let's see, 95 miles deep for that 4.1. Mariotos Trough, Puerto Rico Trench up north. Another deep quake here on the very close to the Puerto Rico Trench. That was late last night, 3.7. So definitely got more deeper activity out here along this area of the world than what I've seen in a little while. That's could mean a couple different things. Could mean that things are definitely potentially on this strain mode out here. We could see something a little bit bigger out here. So we'll keep an eye on this area, see what plays out overnight. Pretty active. South Sandwich Trench, 4.9. The Atlantic Ocean, pretty quiet out there. The Mediterranean area, only a couple twos and some older movement there from earlier this morning. 4.5 out here around, looks like Afghanistan area is what I'm guessing. Let's see here. There we go. The USGS showing a 4.3. Still somewhat deep, 61 miles here. 4.5 there from the EMSC model on the globe. Pretty good clustering going on here across Taiwan southward into the Philippines. So we'll see how this plays out overnight. Iceland, goodness. Have you guys caught some of these articles that are being put out here on Iceland? Of course, they've had another eruption here, and this time the lava field here has made it into, and probably completely covered by now, the Blue Lagoon parking lot. It's a huge tourist area out there. You can see back in the back there the Blue Lagoon facilities and the steaming hot waters like that the tourists like to jump into. I've never been up there. I don't know. There's dikes and volcanoes all over the place underneath this region. I don't think it's safe. That's just my input. But apparently, from this article here, considers the Blue Lagoon safe because of the dikes. So I think their wording is messed up a little bit here, but they're talking about the berms. They believe that the Blue Lagoon's going to be safe and sound because we have a berm out here. Who's to say that we're not going to see a magma intrusion underneath the area and this whole place devastated and completely destroyed with, a new eruption underneath it? Very dangerous, to have a facility up there like that. And this is the closest that it's got here into the parking lot area. Pretty crazy. Spectacular. There's a couple of the buildings out there that got hit with some of the lava. That almost looks like some type of CGI, but it's not. Looks like a fire broke out in containers in the parking lot that have been temporarily used as a service building, as a toilet, and to the storage area of the suitcases of foreign tourists, who are by far the largest number of visitors every day. So some very interesting scenery, right? But, according to them, the Blue Lagoon is safe because of the berms. Let's see if we got any new information out on this. I wouldn't want to go up there with all the fissure activity opening up all around the place here. It's not. I don't think it's safe. But I'm not in charge of that. Let's see. Let's go back over here to the latest information. Quite stable since this morning. This was updated earlier this morning, so nothing new on here. They're just talking about the eruption phase and how it's kind of moving along, and getting super close there into the facility area of the Blue Lagoon. So yeah, we're just kind of keeping an eye on things, folks. There's not a whole lot of newer activity here on this map. Normally there is. I'm not for sure what's going on here. But yeah, their last update was put out earlier this morning. That'd be early my time. They're late, right? So obviously, this is an older update. Beautiful image there from when the fissure just opened up there yesterday. As far as any major earthquake activity going on there or any unusual activity, let's see what we got across the Iceland area. Not a whole lot. Of course, when things start flowing, there's really not a whole lot of earthquake activity down here. As you can see in the last 6 hours. We can go back the last 24 hours here and see some of these other earthquakes that kind of popped up. But it's been over 24 hours since the eruption, so there's not even a whole lot there showing the any earthquake activity following that eruption, which is there's the Blue Lagoon and the power plant. I'm thinking it's right in this area right here, and the lava flowed down this region. So, it's an ever-changing, developing situation out there, and to each their own. If they feel that's safe, then so be it. Let's go ahead and check out space weather activity here real quick. We're getting bombarded here with a bunch of protons. Now, this is off of a far side explosion. Look at this. We had a far side eruption here, and we're still getting hit from all the protons from that large event. So that tells you exactly there. That was a pretty major event. Look at that view out there. It's crazy. This is Kevin's channel here on solarham.com. He's got himself a YouTube channel as well. Let's see. It was a fast-moving, energetic coronal mass ejection there on the far side. Of course, we're dodging the CME activity, obviously, but the proton levels are off the hook. Looks like we peaked up around the S2 radiation storm here. So, again, that's from a far side explosion. This almost looks like it's on the eastern limb here. Let me pull up a latest image here. See what we have. See if we can spot that directly here. Hello. There we go. This is not going back that far. "48-hour movie." I guess we'll see it on that one for sure, right? Probably don't have to watch the whole thing, but we will. Let's see where this was at here. Maybe it was that area. That one produced a massive flare in CME. Little one over here as well. So, yeah, it's got to be from this area. Out on the western limb. Couple out here on the eastern limb as well. So let's see what we have going on there across the sun in terms of magnetic complexity. Looks like one of these areas out here is somewhat complex. Looks a little bit more complex than what we've seen this morning. I don't even think this was visible this morning. So we got an active region out here, and maybe one on the northeastern there quadrant of the sun. These sunspots fairly stable. I'm really not concerned at all with these, but there is some active region areas out there on the eastern limb that we're going to have to watch. Looks like 3905 is one of them. So we'll continue to watch that. 10% chance for an X flare, M flare at 50, C flare around 99% chance. We'll still get bombarded here with protons for a little while, considering that even though it was a far side eruption, still shot off a bunch of protons there, all over the place, including somewhat in the Earth directed view. No major roars in the forecast for now, though. Had that CME been Earth directed, we'd be looking at a different story, obviously. But right now, things are pretty calm, pretty quiet in terms of that. No major roars expected. Storm Prediction Center, not a whole lot of severe weather out there for the area for now. Still got some rain out here across California. I'm loving it. No complaints at all. That's one thing you'll never hear me do is complain about rainfall. A couple weather folks out here on the social media platform have been complaining about 2 days of rain, that they're hoping for some dry spells coming up here. And I start thinking to myself here, we've had 7 months of 100-degree temperatures with very minimal precipitation, starting to drip back down into the drought. And here we are, people complaining about 2 days of rain. I'll never get that. I'll never understand the concept of people complaining. They complain when they don't get any rain, and we get 2 days of rain, and then they start complaining and saying they want it dry again. Oh, wah. All right, so anyway, that's not going to happen for right now. We got some more rain on the way, which is okay by me. Atmospheric river out there across California, Northern California. So tomorrow looks like it's going to be another dandy of a wet day. Low pressure out there across the eastern portion of the country. As we put this into motion a little bit here, another system there across California as we head into early next week. Not quite as strong, obviously, but we'll take any more rain we can get. Low pressure out there across the Northeast, bringing much colder temperatures out there and some snow. Let's see. And after that, things kind of, it's hard to say, but looks like it may dry out here across the West Coast as we enter into December. Let's hope that isn't our only system here, but we'll definitely watch that. These things can change this far out. Let's see what the radar looks like right now. That was earlier from 1:30. Let me bring up the KDAX station here. Yeah, we got a pretty big blob of rain here heading off out of the Chico area to the north. And behind that, maybe some scattered showers, but we'll get another low pressure system here. I'll show you guys on the satellite view. We've got another low pressure system starting to form out here. Here's the old one, right? There's the old remaining bomb cyclone, right? A pretty big deal up there across Washington, Oregon in terms of wind. A lot of rain across the area as well. There's that low pressure system. We got another developing low pressure system right here that's going to funnel in a lot of this atmospheric river moisture and aim it right back at Northern California once again. So it's yay. I'm happy about it. Let me show you guys the West Coast image here. There's that low pressure, developing low pressure system tapping into that atmospheric river. And, there we go. We got some impressive rainfall rates again. We should pick up another 1.5 inches or so of rainfall. I had to empty out my rain gauge today. I was over 5 inches there on the rain gauge. I dumped it out earlier, and that was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon there. So I don't know how much more rain we picked up. I'll check in the morning. But already received 5 inches of rain out here, which is a lot. But we've been so dry. I've had these huge cracks in the ground from just very dry, hot conditions here. Spring, summer, and a lot of the fall. So the ground was screaming for some moisture, and it got it. Now we got humans screaming for dryness. I don't get it. I never understood the concept of some people's thinking out here. Water is life. All right, I think that's about it, folks. I'm going to bounce out of here and call it a night. Getting better. My voice is still just a little bit on the crackly side, but pretty much the cough has gone away. I'm not getting that random itchy, tickling feeling in my throat anymore that makes me want to cough. So right now it's just kind of a little crackly a little bit with my voice, but it's getting better. So I appreciate the positive vibes. Definitely been trying quite a few different home remedies and whatnot to put myself on the right track. Vitamin C is definitely an important nutrient there for the immune system. So I've been taking up a lot of that. Some chicken noodle soup. A lot of people may not agree with that, but hey, my mom used to make some chicken noodle soup when I was sick when I was younger, and it seems to help out a lot. All right, let's see what else we got. I think that's it, folks. Nothing major going on across the seismograph stations there for now. Hawaii, I know I kind of skipped over Hawaii. Not a whole lot going on there. A little bit of activity across the Kilauea volcano. Even some movement up north here around Mauna Kea. These are older volcanoes. Of course, the older back you go, the less active they are. I don't know the last time when Mauna Kea erupted. But, excuse me. I just kind of jinxed myself there, saying I wasn't coughing. But newer volcanoes obviously forming out here through time. Lohi Seamount. Lohi Seamount. I know I keep seeing a couple different comments out here saying it's pronounced this way. So, yeah, my pronunciation sometimes can be California style, so to speak. But anyway, all right, I'm out of here. Have yourself a wonderful evening, folks. Enjoy the rain. And we'll see you guys back out here tomorrow for the Friday morning update. Stay safe.